going on, guys? I'm back with another one. And I just watched a movie called Men, starring Jessie Buckley, Rory Kinnear, and Papa Essiedu. First of all, that wasn't that bad of a name. That wasn't that. I thought it was going to be worse than that, but it wasn't that bad. Let's discuss a director by the name of Alex Garland and his slow transition as the king of weird. Let me explain that. In 2002, 28 Days Later came out. Okay, little did I know Alex Garland he wrote that. He wrote it. He didn't direct it. He wrote it. This was the typical virus breaks out, zombies break out type movie, right? But it was a very good movie, nonetheless. Nothing too weird about that one, right? Okay. In 2007, 28 Weeks Later came out. I don't think I've seen this one. I don't think I saw that one. I'm not sure. But I can tell you, it wasn't that weird either. All right. And he also wrote that, didn't direct it. There's a little pattern going on here. He didn't really direct anything in his early times. Okay. Not till later on. Because in 2012, Judge Dredd came out. Or Dredd. Because Judge Dredd's the one I saw. I didn't see Dredd. I don't know if I really want to see Dredd. But I can tell you still, nothing too weird about that one. All right. He also just wrote that one. But then we get to 2014 and Ex Machina came out. That was a very good sci-fi right there. Riveting. Loved it. I loved that movie. Okay. You know, the woman, this robot woman, she's trying to see what it's like to be a real woman. Okay. In every way possible. Okay. And she's ready to see that. And there's only like one little strange scene where the creator dances with his robot. Okay. Like they're on Dances with the Stars or something. It's a little odd. But other than that, not too weird. And he directed and wrote this one. Then we get to Annihilation in 2018. That's where the weird train starts. Now, this is something where they go to a certain realm or something like that, and there's a scientist and they're exploring this realm. It's already weird when they get into that realm, but much later on, towards the end of the movie, it starts to get really weird. Okay, to a point where you just don't know what the hell is going on anymore. And I think this is where he broke the seal for his weird crown. He earned his weird crown. He's earning it slowly. I'm sorry. So now we have Men. Okay? And my question is, will Men be just as weird as what he's already done? Or will it be weirder? We're about to find out. Let's go. Men. For those who don't know, for those who are not aware, if you have no idea what Men is by now, you've either been avoiding the theater lately, because every time you go to the theater, they show the trailer for this. Even if, it doesn't matter what kind of movie you're seeing. They're going to show the trailer for this movie, okay? Or you're too busy being distracted by seeing the same face on different bodies all day. I could see where that could be, off-putting. All right? Don't play me. You know. Men. It's pretty much about this lady named Harper, who just went through a tragic situation with her ex, where her ex took his own life, sadly. All right, and she has to get away to this loft or this house, and just get her thoughts together and get her and try to just get her life together, pretty much. Some time to herself. But while she's there, she starts to see some strange happenings around. All right, and these strange happenings, they conjure up old feelings and old thoughts about what she went through with her ex. Okay, and it's not helping that every guy she meets has the same face. All right, and she must figure out what is going on here, and that's the premise of the movie. Positives. From the beginning of this movie, I couldn't help but notice the imagery in this film. It was spectacular. It was great. The scenes, from scene to scene, the cinematography was flawless. Okay, it was flawless. It almost felt like it wasn't a horror movie for a minute there. Like, it was just, you were just seeing the sights. You were just out seeing the sights in this little town. Okay, the lake and the water and the woods and this everything that collaborated with that was nice to look at that, man. It kind of drifted away from the horror feel, but it handles that later on. Okay, another positive that I liked about this, the score. The score was beautiful. Okay, it was like they had their own symphony on standby for almost any scene that it was necessary for. All right, it definitely. And at the beginning of the movie, there's a song that's playing. I'm not sure who sings it or what song it was. Just amazing and perfect to put in the scene that they put it in for. Okay, I miss movies like this with the soundtracks that just hit you and they go along with the movie well. They coincide with that film. All right, and that's what this soundtrack for this movie did. It was amazing. It was amazing what they can do with that. Another positive. There's a little actor by the name of Rory Kinnear in this film. Okay, he's the guy that's playing as different people, multiple characters in this movie. For some reason, I won't say why, but he's multiple characters in this movie. It's not a spoil. It's in the trailer. Okay, if you notice when you watch the trailer, it's in the trailer right there. Rory Kinnear, I want to say Greg, that's another actor altogether. Rory Kinnear came out years ago in a show called Penny Dreadful, which I also loved. Rory Kinnear did something that not a lot of actors were able to do. He was able to play a version of Frankenstein that I've never seen before. Might be my favorite version of Frankenstein altogether. It was a little emo, a little goth here, but he was just such a tortured soul. You felt bad for Frankenstein, the monster. Okay, you felt really bad for him, and he did such a great job with that. And now he's back. I haven't seen him in years, and now he's back in this, playing different characters, all in one movie. He's pulling the little James McAvoy there. Okay, and he's doing such a good job, man. He's such an underrated actor. He's an underrated actor. Guarantee you that. Okay? My last positive for this one. These sort of mind games this film plays with you. It plays with the audience. It's crazy. Okay? You don't know what's going on from the beginning to the end quite much. You think there's a point where you're trying to figure out if this is abstract or concrete. Okay? I don't want to get too much into that because it will just tell a lot of stuff. But you're trying to figure out, is this really happening? Or is this all in the mind? And the movie, it does something where it'll show something that happened because the main actress is seeing this go on. But then later on, the remnants of that will still be there when other people step into the scene. Now, I'm not sure that other people can see that, but the way it does it, it's just like, okay, this couldn't have really happened. This couldn't have really happened or taken place. What's going on here? What is it about this town? What is it about this town that is making this happen? Why is she seeing all this? Is she imagining this, or is it real? And it really played a good game of that. It had me so confused and distraught with that, and not in a bad way, in a good way. There are some bad things about that I'll get into later on, but for the most part, that little mind trick that the movie played with me, well done. Nice. Well done. Now let's get into the negatives. All right. One negative about this movie. This really needed to clarify on the true nature of the antagonist. All right. Not going to say what or who or whatever the antagonist is supposed to be, but it's hard to tell where the antagonist conjured up, was brought up from. Where did this come from? Where did this come from all of a sudden? What's the backstory on the antagonist in this movie? Why is it here? Why is it here? Why is it only in this certain area, in this town that she's in? Why is it nobody else is talking about this? Why is nobody else experiencing this? Okay, it really was vague with that. Like, are other people seeing these visions? Are they visions? That goes back to what I just said, the positives of this. This is the negatives of this. Because when the way that this movie ends, you have to backtrack to what you were just seeing earlier. Okay? And you ask yourself, so why was I seeing this the whole time? Well, what does that have to do with the end of the movie? What happened at the end of the movie? What does that have to do with the entire rest of the movie? The entire movie was this. Now it's that. You know what I'm saying? It's the connection to the end from the beginning, they don't really add up. Okay? It doesn't add up at all. It's so confusing with that. In a bad way this time. In a bad way. Because that makes no sense. I understand why they did that in a way. But at the same time, what was the point again? What was the point? If you're just going to end it like that. Another negative. There was a lot of bad decisions made by the lead character in this movie. All right. I understand she was going through some things mentally, emotionally, but even if I was going through some mental or emotional things, I'm still not going to make the decisions that she made. There was a point in the movie where she was almost on the brink of just saying, okay, I'm just going to leave this place. I'm going to leave this place. Forget this. I need to just go. But something convinces her to just stupidly stay there. Just stay there. I don't care what the reason is. I'm going to leave. I see all this crap going on. I would have left a long time ago. A long ass time ago. All right. I'm not going to stay for all the rest of that. It only takes me one time to see something that's off or odd in this house, and I'm gone. The first time that something happened with a character that was in this movie that she had to call the authorities about, all right? The authorities did not handle that well. Once that happened, I would have been out of there, man. I would have been out of there. That's hell no. Hell no. But she chose to stay. And then there was a part where she was almost out of there. But then something made her stop. She hit somebody or something and felt bad for a couple of seconds. With the things you've already seen, why would you stop for anybody? This is a horror movie. Don't stop, Randy. You keep going. I don't care who you hit. I don't care if it's an old lady. Let her roll over the car and keep going. Okay? It's not going to end well with you stop and see what's going on. All right? Now, I'm not saying too much, but yeah, it kind of held her back when she did that. All right. My last negative about this. By the end of the movie, the climax, I say the climax before the movie really ended. There was a specific scene where the director I guess he decided, okay, I've done this whole movie and I haven't done my my weird trademark yet. Let me go ahead and make everybody uncomfortable. Okay? Because there's a scene in here that just keeps happening. And it keeps happening over and over again. It's so... For me to say this, it's got to be bad. It's so disgusting. It's disgusting. It's gross, man. It's freaking gross. I would have not needed to see that. All right? I did not need to see that. I warn you now. Be cautious by the end of this movie, because you're going to see things that they really did not need to show you. All right? And you're going to see it multiple times towards the end. It's to the point where even the lead character gets just tired, like, okay. All right, you're just going to keep on doing this? All right. You can see it in her face. All right. Because of that, I've got to give this an I cool. Yes, an I cool. Because I feel that last scene just kind of ruined its chance of being a hell yeah. If they would have ended it on a little more sensible note than that. I love weird, don't get me wrong, but that was just unnecessary. All right? They shouldn't have done that. Also, there's a whole thing about this going around that Men is about it. It's a man-hating movie. It's nothing about that. Please stop pushing that agenda. It's not a man-hating movie. Cut that out. Press that like button. Share this, and you better subscribe.